What is going on today? So today is day number 6 that we are reading the Bible. And let me just say, the community has been absolutely incredible. Like, we have seen so much support, actually. It's incredible. So, let's pick off where we left off. Now, Sihari, Abraham's wife, bore him no children. She had an Egyptian slave girl whose name was Agar. And Sihari said to Abram, "You see that the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. Go in, my slave girl. It may be that I shall obtain children by her." Hold on. Let's just stop there for a second. Is she suggesting that you get another girl pregnant? Hold on, let's just keep reading. And Abram listened to the voice of Sarai, so after Abram had lived for 10 years in the land of Canaan, Sarai, Abram's wife, took Agar, the Egyptian, her slave girl, and gave her to her husband Abram as a wife. He went into Hagar, and she conceived, and she saw that she had conceived. She looked with contempt on her mistress. Then Sarai said, "Abram, may the wrong done to me be on you. He gave my slave girl to you to your embrace. And when she saw that she had conceived, she looked on me and contempt, with contempt. May the Lord judge between you and me." But Abram said to Sahari, "Your slave girl is your power." This is actually kind of crazy. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. "Do to her as you please." Okay, so you're telling me his wife literally picked out a girl for him? I'm not gonna lie. This is actually. I think we might need to bring back old times. Actually, I mean, this sounds like a good story. Let's see. But Abram said to Sarai, "Your slave girl is." Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Then Sarai dealt harshly with her, and she ran away from her. The angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, "Yagar, slave girl of Sarai, where have you come from and where are you going?" She said, "I'm running away from my mistress Sarai." The angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit to her." The angel of the Lord also said to her, "I will so greatly multiply your offspring that they cannot be counted for multitude." And the angel of the Lord said to her, Now you have conceived, and you shall bear a son. You shall call him Ishmael, for the Lord has given head or heed to your affection. He shall be wild. Okay, this is actually crazy. Okay, and this is not my words. This is in the Bible. I just want to make this clear. This is in the Bible, and it says, "He shall be wild as of a man. He shall be a wild ass of a man, and with his hand against everyone, and everyone's hand against him, he shall live at odds with all his kin." You sh- so she named the so she named the Lord who spoke to her You Alrari for she said, I have really seen God and remained alive after seeing him. Therefore the well was called Bir Lari Arari. It lies between Kadesh and Bered. Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram named his son, whom Hagar bore Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore him Ishmael. These names are crazy. I'm not gonna lie. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abram and said to him, I am God Almighty. Walk before me and be blameless, and I will make my covenant between me and you, and I will make you exceedingly numerous. Then Abram fell on his face, and God said to him, As for me, this is my covenant with you. You shall be the ancestors or the ancestor of multitude of nations. No longer shall your name be Abram, but your name shall be Abraham. I was thinking about that. I was calling him Abraham from the beginning. I don't know why, but I was actually calling him Abraham from the beginning. But I was like, every single time I started to say that, I actually started correcting myself. I was like, okay, it's not Abraham, it's Abram. But it started to sound like it. So that actually makes sense. And I was like, I think God probably thought the same thing. He was probably like saying Abraham all the time. I assume or something like that, right? And okay, so anyways, for I have made you the ancestor of multitude of nations. I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of you, and kings shall come to you, and I will establish my covenant between me and you, and your offspring after you throughout their nations for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and to your offspring after you. And I will give to you and to your offspring after you, and the land where you are now an alien, all the land of Canaan, for a putable holding, and I will be their God. God said to Abraham, As for you, you shall keep my covenant, you and your offspring after you throughout their generations. This is my covenant, which you shall keep, between me and you, your offspring after you. Every male among you shall be circumcised. You shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskins, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and you. Throughout your generations, every male among shall be circumcised when he is 8 days old, including the slave born in your house and the one bought with your money from any foreigner who is not your offspring. Both the slave born in your house and the one brought with your money must be circumcised. So shall my covenant be in your flesh, an everlasting covenant. This sounds like a terrible deal, if you ask me. But anyways, I guess somebody accepted the deal because any uncircumcised male who is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. God said to Abraham, I'm really glad actually that now we went from Abram to Abraham because Abraham just sounds better. As for Sarah, your wife, you shall not call her Sarai, but Sarah. That sounds better too, actually. Shall be her name. And I will bless her, and moreover, I will give you and your son by her. I will bless her, and she shall give rise to nations. Kings of people shall come from her. Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed. He said to himself, can a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? Can Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child? And Abraham said to God, Oh, that Ishmael might live in your sight. God said, No, your wife Sarah shall not bear a son, and you shall name him. Hold on. No, but your wife shall bear you a son, but you shall name him Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him, an everlasting covenant for his offspring after him. As for Ishmael, I have heard of you. I will bless him and make him fruitful and exceedingly numerous. He shall be father of 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah shall bear a shall bear to at the season next year. And when he had finished talking with him, God went up to Abraham. Then Abraham took his son Ishmael and all the slaves born in his house or brought with his money, and every male among the men of Abraham's house, and he circumcised the flesh of his foreskin that every day. And God said to him, Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised in his flesh of his foreskin. And his son Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. That very day, Abram and his son Ishmael were circumcised, and all the men of his house, slaves born in the house, and those brought with money from a foreigner, or were circumcised with him. I think this is actually leading up to a good story. I don't know, but this is actually leading up to a good story. This is actually, a lot of people don't read the Bible from beginning to end, but this is actually leading. I feel like there's something. tomorrow that we're gonna find out. I feel like this. I feel like this is leading up to something. We'll find out. But anyways, this is all for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, we are not alone. We have God, and we have each other.